Hello and welcome. Today is Sunday, the 10th day of May, 2015. My name is Derek and welcome to this weekend's silver chart analysis video, which will contain the weekly chart as well as charts within the Silver Eagle mintage. But before that, quick little IQ style test. I want to start off with John Doe. He bought 100 ounces of silver from a reputable dealer. 50 of them cost $18.75, 35 at $19.10. 13 at 19 and 3/4, and 2 of them at 22.5, with shipping in at $9.95. How much money was in this invoice? And you can add all these up together, 1875 multiply 50 and add them all, but just say 100 ounces. That's how much money it is. For money to be that, it needs many tangibles to be yes or check mark, which you can see in videos like the Hidden Secrets of Money. And fiat currency fails miserably in that of store of value. So if I asked you how much currency was in the invoice, then you'd have to do the math. But no, you don't have to do it. Let's go on to the chart, starting off within the silver weekly, which ended a gain of 31 cents or 1.9% after a little over 2.5% the week before. And I've talked about this pattern for quite some time. The bias right now is down, but it's been neutral, so neutral with a downward bias. And it's been, of course, either down or neutral for, well, 3 years now or so. And for this to change into either a bullish or resumption of a bear market, bullish, it really needs to break above significant resistance of 18.5. Bearish, it has to do more than break this key support. It really needs to go below 15. So with that being said, because it's all a bunch of nonsense within this sideways action, there's really no need for me to do much more of these charts until it at least can get up to 18 or below 15. So anywhere within this $3 sideways range is all within a neutral level on a downward bias. Okay, Eagle charts, mintage, and for the month of April this year, almost 3 million sold, and that is the third highest, with it also being the third lowest in the last 3 years. Highest, second highest, of course, third highest, fourth, and then fifth and sixth in here. It was 2008 when the information for fiat currency got widely available. Big year in 2006. But this was the year where the sales really started to escalate, as it went from pretty much nobody to hardly anybody figuring out what a fiat currency was. And even today, I'm guessing that, well, around 95% of the population would have no idea what the fiat means in fiat currency. Which means if you are stacking at this stage, you are obviously part of the early stage. This is the total for January, February, March, and April. Not much going on here. 2008 barely breaking out, significantly higher, significantly higher, significantly higher. And well, I guess since 2010, it has been getting around 12, 13 over the first 4 months. Let's take a look at the next chart, which is what I've done. What I've done is I've taken the amount sold, multiplied what the average price for the month was. So if it sold, say, 1 million, and the average price was $5, say back in here, well then it'd be about 5 million. And I'm taking the average, of course, for 12 because that has all months from January to December. January usually one of the stronger months for sales. If you want to know the reason why, that's because the dates are new and people want to get newer dates. That's why January sells more. But obvious, clear chart. They start it, people get in buying, but the demand goes lower between 91 and like end of the decade. That's, on average, per month, $2 million spent on Silver Eagles. Nowadays, 60, 70. Some interesting notes to finish off with. The total amount of silver eagles minted is almost 416 million ounces. And that doesn't include special replicas and other miscellaneous ones you can think of. Since 2008, there have been over 258 million ounces, and that's 62% of the total mint, which means that 38% of the total mint is the 20 plus years that preceded it. Is it safe to presume that all of the mints are greater than this number? And I think the answer is yes. When you take the Canadian silver maples and all the silver they have, then you take the Engleharts, the Philharmonics, Aussie Mint, Perth Mint that is, and all the different generics that you can think of, it's very safe to think that there is well over 1 billion ounces of investment grade silver that's in this world. But is there 7 billion ounces of investment grade silver? And I say that because if the answer is no, and I presume that it is, that means the average human has under 1 ounce of silver. Again, about 5% ballpark figure, I think, has an idea of what a fiat currency is. There's a small amount of people preparing for a collapse of the currency, and if you want to talk about boom and bust cycles, the bust cycle does not start when a very small percentage of the population are in. Now, JP Morgan has been buying silver apparently, and if you want to watch an Alex Jones video regarding it, JP Morgan, the polling the Hunt brothers, so you can get some information. This was put out a couple of weeks ago, that they've pretty much bought over the last few years, an equivalency to what the Hunts did. I consider all of the stackers that have been buying these over the last 7 years to be far greater than what the Hunt brothers have been, but that's interesting that they are doing such. And does JP Morgan have the ability to suppress prices to get rock bottom levels? Well, we're, what, $16 an ounce? I think it's been done. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to this weekend's chart video, and have yourself a great week. Bye-bye.